I, St. Barnabas, your clergy and staff are here to give you a little walkthrough on what we're going to do when we resume worship on May 17th. Before we walk through, though, let's remind you that you still have the option of viewing at home every week, and if you want to receive communion, that will always be available to you. Just email us, email the church office, and we will coordinate one of the members of the clergy to meet with you during the week to communicate you as best suits your needs in our calendars. But that being said, if you choose to come back on May 17th, here's what it's going to look like. It's going to be very different than what you're used to on a Sunday morning, so we wanted to give you a brief visual of what that's going to entail. So, for some of you, this may mean that you're going to have to re-time when you leave your house. So many of you leave at 9:58 and arrive at 10:03. You're going to have to think through, maybe I need to leave at 9:45, because we don't want to bottleneck at the doorway if we're going to try to social distance. Also, you can go to the other entrance or the front entrance if you'd like to as well. But here's what that'll look like. We'll have an usher, i.e. Father Greg in this case, masked, ready at the door. Think through all the things you're not used to, like me touching my face without thinking about it. We don't want to have as much contact on the doors, so the usher will either open the door for you, or if it's beautiful like today, we'll have the doors propped open. Lillian is our parishioner coming in. You can kind of wave and talk to each other, but we're asking no physical contact so that we can maintain social distancing. If we have a bottleneck, Deacon John is going to wait and then bring himself in, having given a little distance. So it'll take a little time to get us in the building, but remember, we're limiting to about 50 per offering. Also, when you come in, have your face mask on, as Father Greg does at all times. It's going to be a little awkward, but we'll figure it out together. Now, as you walk in, forgive our clutter, you will see what the church will look like. Unfortunately, we won't have the nursery available or any of our Sunday morning Sunday school or Bible study offerings. Those will still be available on YouTube. You'll notice all the doors are going to be closed as you come in. That's intentional. We ask parents, do your best to help guide your family into the sanctuary, and adults who like to visit and converse. We ask you to do that outside and not congregate in the hallway. That way we can all just proceed down to the sanctuary and get in a fashion that allows us all to meet one another, but also in a healthy way. So as you get into the sanctuary, here's what it's going to look like. You'll come in, you'll notice the rows are going to be a little further back because we've distanced things out more than we ever have in the past to keep you safe. So if Lillian is, for instance, your family, she will come in and notice a couple things. Every other row is going to be clearly marked to be left vacant per service, so there will be one row's distance. Lillian is our prime example of something that you'd never do on a Sunday intuitively, but we ask you to think about. We want to actually fill the church from the front to the back so that we don't have people walking back and forth by each other. So Lillian has come, found her seat. If we come up and you view this, we're asking that you leave 2 chairs between you and the next household. So if Lillian's by herself, Team Thompson, if they were to be here, could sit party of 5 right here, or a family of 3, or a couple, whatever the case may be. But we're going to ask that you leave a couple chairs, 2 chairs distance, so that you can maintain distance as best you can. I know it'll be odd singing in a mask, doing everything in a mask, but again, all the statistics show that even as I'm talking in my church voice at Miss Jennifer, I'm probably just at the optimal range beyond 6 feet, and that's just not feasible for us to do when we're singing and interacting in an enclosed space. So, we'll engage worship just as we always do. If it comes time for a birthday and anniversary blessing, and it's your birthday or your anniversary, we're going to ask you to just stand in place and we'll pray over you where you are. For those of you viewing from home, you can continue to send in your birthday and anniversary dates, and we will read them off as we've been doing on the live stream for those at home as well. When we come time for communion, this is going to be particularly different. The clergy actually will not be masked and gloved until this point, so that we can pick everything up on the live stream for our friends at home. Because you'll notice now that I'm greatly muffled as you're listening to the video. But we'll glove up, we'll mask up, and we're going to come to you. So, you don't have to do a thing when it comes time for communion. We're going to be your servers. That's biblical, right? We're going to come out to you, and one hand will have what you've been seeing if you've come for drive-up communion with individual hosts, and the other hand will have a bag. If I'm coming to Miss Lillian, notice I'm going to have a pew between me and her. I'm going to hold this out. She's going to take one. She'll bring her mask down. At this point, she can, of course. She'll communicate. She'll drop it in the bag, and I'll proceed to the next household. And we'll do this row by row by row. You'll notice that the good news is, since we've got a row between, when I get past this row, I'll be back to back with them as I communicate the following row. Father Greg and I will split by side. You don't have to do a thing. You just stay in place. After we're done, when we kind of get reset, when we get the altar reset, we'll finish up service, and then we're actually going to dismiss you by row so that we don't all bottleneck going out. So what we'd ask is this. If you're on this side of the church, you are going to exit that main door to the front lawn. If you're on this side of the church, the organ side, you're going to exit out those side doors. We're all going to be able to greet each other. I know you're going to want to see your friends and talk to the clergy. We'll be there to meet you on the front lawn. After the recessional hymn, the clergy actually are just going to go straight out. So if you want to see us and you want to see each other, we're asking you just to proceed outside, because after service ends, we're going to do a light sanitation of the door handles and some of the surfaces to prepare for the next worship service. So I know it's going to seem a little clunky. Maybe this helps you as you discern what's best for you and your family during this time, if you're still making that decision. Again, let me remind you that we'll continue to live stream for the foreseeable future. I mean, hopefully Jesus returns back before we have to live stream forever, but we'll keep it going because we think we're meeting a need here. And until we know that this has safely passed for everyone, we'll continue to do that. And we'll continue to find ways to offer communion to you in any way that we can make ourselves available. But for those of you who do come, I know it's going to be a little odd. I know it may seem a little clunky. You may totally disagree with what we're doing, but we ask for your safety and for the safety of others that you would please help comply in these things so that we can manage them well and worship together. We at least get to give thanks that we can get to be together and have that option at this time. And we don't want to be the cautionary tale on the news in 2 weeks of the spike in cases by not having thought these things out. So we appreciate your prayers. We ask that you would help us out. If you see things that we can do better, we are all ears, but these are the main things that we've thought through to maintain safety. Also, try to maintain distance, go into the bathrooms, go in by household unit, all the things you're not used to thinking about, so that hopefully we can do worship safely and continue on until we can grow back to the numbers that we're used to. So take care, God bless. Know that if you have any questions or concerns, you're welcome to reach out to us as always. You've got most of our cell phone numbers and certainly the email address for the church, and let us know if there's anything that we can do. God bless you, and we look forward to connecting with you soon.